All right, we are connected. I'm 5 minutes early. That's a good thing. Let's get this party started. Woohoo! As you come on, please introduce yourself. If you're on Facebook, you'll need to make sure, if you don't mind, putting your name in the comments when you say you're here, so I know who you are. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you don't mind, put where you're, where you live or where you're currently at watching this. That would be awesome. On YouTube, I'm streaming to YouTube, so I am able to see the people's names. And that way I at least know who's on here, which is fine. And if you don't want to comment and let me know you're there, that's fine too. You can be a stalker. That's not a problem at all. So I'm just going to sit here and wait for everybody to come on. And when you do, I've got the comments lined up and ready to go. So just come on in and get yourself situated and get comfortable. And we'll start here shortly after 7. All right. So looking forward to seeing everybody on a Wednesday evening. Of course, my nose has to start itching as soon as we get on, go live. Never fails, right? Never fails. I should be playing music so everybody can hear it as they come on. But that's okay. Guess I'll put my pencil right here. All right, so if you're out there, welcome. Make sure, if you don't mind, let me know you're there. Introduce yourself. Let me know where you're from. You can always give me a weather update. It's always interesting for us to find out where everyone is. Hopefully y'all didn't forget where I put a reminder out, put a couple of them out. So hopefully you all saw that and you'll be here. If not, I'll be doing this and talking to myself, which is not anything unusual. It's right at 7. And hey, Pam from Ohio, how are you? How's the weather? Are y'all cold, medium, sorta? Actually, it was 50 degrees when we got up this morning, but it got up to 70. So I can't complain. Oh, my. Hello, Miss Amy. How are you? We're waiting for others to trickle on. Slowly but surely, everyone's coming on board. I thought I was going to have a catastrophe because it wouldn't let me sign into Facebook, and I was about to have a panic attack. And I thought I might have to do this by the old-fashioned way by my phone, but I got it figured out. So, oh, it's cold. I'm sure it is. I think everybody is in this deep, cold, whatever this storm system or weather system is. It's just crazy. So, but before you know it, summer will be here, and we'll be complaining about how hot it is. So, you know. So we'll give it, I hope everybody, I put a notification out yesterday and today, letting everybody know I had to move it to tonight. We had a concert that for whatever reason I didn't have it on my schedule. And we had a really nice time. We have an art center here called the Tribby Art Center. And it's got a 400-seat auditorium, it's a small venue. And we signed up for the series, for the concert series for the winter. And it's almost like every Thursday or every other Thursday we have a concert to go to. And it was really nice. And then next Tuesday, I will not be here, but I'm going to do it again on Wednesday. That one is down on the island part of our community, and it's a free concert. It's outdoors, and it's a Chicago, oh God, what's it called? Chicago... I can't remember. But anyways, it's kind of a doo-wop, rockabilly, folky, rock and roll, whatever. I think they do a little bit of everything. So looking forward to that one. Hopefully the weather will be nice. All right, we're going to give it another minute or so, and then we're going to start. And those that pop in late will just have to watch this on the replay, or when they get here, they'll have to catch up afterwards. So I'm going to just give it another minute or so, and then we'll get started. Because you all are here, and hello, Linda. How are you? I think it's Linda, right? Happy New Year, and thank you for coming in on a Wednesday. I appreciate it. I was just mentioning that next Wednesday I'll be doing the same thing. We have a couple of concerts. Normally they're on Thursdays, but this week and next week is on a Tuesday, so I figured I just go ahead and move them to Wednesday, and whoever can make it, that's fine. And if not, they can just watch the replay. But I just didn't want to go a week or two without, seeing you guys, or at least talking to you. This is my only out that I get to talk to people. I mean, I talk to people when I'm walking around the neighborhood, but you know what I mean. Stamping people. I've left a message for the lady that handles the area to see if I can start teaching some classes to get back in face-to-face, but she didn't. I left a message yesterday. She's not called me back today, so we're going to wait and see if she calls me. If not, I'll have to make another phone call. But anyways, all right, it's 7:04. Let's give it one more minute, and then we're going to start. Tonight, I'm going to be doing, actually, let me go ahead and do my little, before we get started business, and then by then we'll be ready to get started. So, as usual, I have a monthly tutorial. I'm going to go ahead and flip the camera down. I have a monthly tutorial that if you purchase from me and spend $50 in my online store, then you will get this month's tutorial, which is 36 projects. And this is created by myself and 35 other demonstrators. Welcome! Yes, I got moved. Did you get moved? Yes. Who am I talking to from Wyoming? Yes, we got moved, and then last night we had a concert to go to, so that's why I moved last night to tonight, and I will also be doing the same thing for next Tuesday. Next Tuesday will be moved to next Wednesday. So anyways, if you make a purchase through my online store, $50 or more, then you will get this tutorial bundle, and these are 36 projects that it's a lot of great inspiration. We've got the turtle, we've got some flowers, the pigs, some valentines, the carrots, so a lot of the newer products that came out in the mini catalog. So this will help give you some ideas of how to use those products. We've got the new gnomes and the owls and the happy birthday, the best birthday, that I have that stamp, and we've done that before. So just keep that in mind. Oh, hey, Patty Schuler. It's snowing. Oh my goodness, girl. We got up to 70 today. We woke up, it was 50. So hopefully you're inside staying warm and have a nice fire going. So anyways, that's my tutorial bundle. If you don't have a demonstrator and would like to order from me, then you would get this as my thank you gift. And two other things. One, I have a couple of paper pack shares available if anybody's interested. If you want to, I'll post this, but here's the link right here. So if you want to come back and get this link, you can go in and look at what the pricing is depending on what you decide you want to purchase. I think I've got 3 if I'm not mistaken. It might only be 2. So that, just wanted to let you know that as well. And then also, we have a great joining offer now through the end of February that if you spend $129, you get the Baby Mini Boss Machine, and this is a $63 value. So you get this little guy, and you can get it in white, or you can also get it in the new boho color, which is one of our new colors that's coming out in May with the new in colors. And in addition to that, $129, you get to choose $175 worth of product. And what that does, that allows you to get $175 of product for $129 with tax. We pay your shipping, and then you will receive a 20% discount on your purchases between now and June. By the end, let's see, March, April, May, the end of May. So the end of May, you would have to get a 20% discount, minimum of a 20% discount. So think about that. Hey, Judy from Ohio, give some thought to that. So if you have a long list of items that you want to purchase and it exceeds $100, you can also join for $99 and get to choose $175. You just don't get the emboss machine. So for $99, you can choose $175 in product and then receive a 20% discount on future orders through the end of May. You're not required to do any classes or teach online or do anything like I'm doing. You can just do it as a hobbyist, or what we call a discount shopper, that you can join. It's like a membership. You join, you get a discount. And if you don't meet the minimums that are required, and we can go over that in further detail, let me know. Then you just go back to paying full price when you place your orders. So it's a great offer. I don't think I've ever seen Stampin' Up! Do this much into a starter kit, if you will. So if you know someone that does paper crafting or scrapbooking and they like Stampin' Up! Products, or yourself, $175, $129 is what you pay. You get the free mini emboss machine, or you can pay $99 without the machine. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'll be more than happy to answer any, and I'd love to have you join my Crafty Girls group, my community. We absolutely have a great time, and I've got people throughout the East Coast, Michigan, Maryland, Virginia, obviously, and then Florida. So, okay, let's get started. Everybody, well, not everybody, but lots of people are on, so let's go ahead and get started. Now, tonight I'm going to be working with our designer paper, and I've chosen the pack of Fancy Floras, what I'm going to use this evening. And as you can see, I've got all my scraps in my little holder thing. But this paper, you know, we tend to buy paper, right? And then we don't use it because it's too pretty. And that's why I do paper shares, so that we use up our paper, and then you get, by doing a paper share, you get a small sampling of each of the 14 new papers. Hi, Patty. You get a sampling of the 14 new papers in this new catalog, and it gives you an idea of what they look like. You can use them, and then the ones that you absolutely love, then you can order more of those. So this is the Fancy Flora, and it's kind of like, I kind of look at this as rocks. I'm not sure how you all look at that. And then the back side, it's kind of the paint that's been lifted. It's kind of like the paste that we have. You know how you lift it, put it in a little bit of piles, and it kind of dries. But anyways, and I'm sure you've seen this paper. This is absolutely stunning paper. And one side is kind of more busier, and then the back side is a little less. I don't know about that one. But anyway, so this is, we're going to be using this for all of our projects this evening. So again, this is 48 sheets of paper that comes in the 6x6 sizes. And this is the Fancy Flora. So just want to let you know that. let me put my scraps away. The cards that we're going to be making this evening are very easy. They're very simple cards, but sometimes, you know, I forget that sometimes less is more, so we want to get back to doing our paper crafting. And, you know, I enjoy doing the fun folds, but sometimes we need to get back to where we're just doing, you know, stuff. Okay? So here's the first card that we're going to make, and this is using the same piece of designer paper, and what we're doing, we're just going to flip the other side over, and we're using it on a piece of thick basic white. Now this one I cut at 4 1/4 by 11, and then the measurements for these pieces, and we're using a different paper so that you can see, give you some sampling of what the different papers look like. So your base cardstock on this one is going to be 1 3/4 by 4 inches. And then the designer paper is going to be, I've got it not at 1 1/2. I've got it like at 1 5/8. And that's going to be at 3 not 4. So it's probably 3 7/8. Somewhere in the 3/4 range, 3 7/8, however you want to do it. Okay. And then the stamp set that I'm using is the Framed Occasions. This has got a lot of good, you know, it's got some foliage in here. It's got a little flower, but it's got some nice sentiments that we can use. And then it also has, it coordinates with the Beautiful Shapes die. So you've got a couple of ovals. You've got a sentiment one there. I'm not quite sure what, I guess if you want to do hexagons, you could use your scrap paper and make hexagons and whatever these little triangles are. And decorate. And then of course here you've got your whatever these are, 1 2 3 4 hexagons, I guess, and circles, or maybe those are whatever. All right, so that's what we're using. I went ahead and cut everything out that we need so we don't take up a lot of time, and we're going to make 3 cards this evening. Welcome everyone. We're just getting started. Thank you for joining me. And this is my host code if you decide to place an order with me. This is for the month of January, PERQTP3U. Okay, it's per cutie people 3, I don't know, whatever. Okay, so we're going to get started. And the card that we're going to make this evening, we're going to use Calypso Coral. And I've got everything pre-cut. And we're going to go ahead and start. So I'm going to go ahead and I guess I will bring in my scoring board so I can score the card and do it the right way. Sometimes I fold it, sometimes I score it. So I thought, well, let me just go ahead and do it the right way, right? So we're going to score that at 4 1/4. And this is at, this one I'm doing is 8 1/2 by 5 1/2. Now the one I just showed you was 4 1/4 by 11. Okay, so I just want to show you what the difference, what it will look like on different paper and different colors that we're going to be using. All right, so now this one, it's got a little bit of coral in it. So I'm going to use this piece, and then I'm going to flip this one over, and we're going to use Soft Succulent for our little base pieces. Thank you for sharing. And I forgot to mention, if you don't mind, please share. I'm also streaming to YouTube, but share if you will, because the more the merrier, right? And the more people we get joining us, the more fun we have. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and attach these. And again, as I mentioned, this is pretty basic card, but sometimes it's nice just to do things that is not quite as intense, and this way you can kind of sit back and relax a little bit. You know what I mean? And then you all saw, hopefully, that Saturday I'm doing our next anticipation, and that's going to be at 11:30 Eastern Standard Time. I think I'm going to turn it this way. And I've already got my cards already done, and I put a photo up on the site with the measurements of the card that we're going to be creating. And I'm going to do 2 different ones, so just to let you know that as well. And again, as I mentioned, this is a pretty easy card, so it's not going to take us long, but that's why I'm doing 3. All right, so what I'm going to do then is I'm going to attach these, and I'm going to overlay them a little bit, and I'm just going to glue them down. I'm not popping them up. Actually, we could do, since I did this one this way, let's bring this one let's do it like this. Let's put this one up higher, or let's switch them. Let's do this one up here, and we'll do this guy down lower. How's that? And then, so let's glue these down. And again, you know, sometimes just getting back to the basics and easy stuff is kind of relaxing, and you don't have to stress out as much. Not that we stress out in card making, but sometimes we do, right? We put a lot of pressure on ourselves. So I thought, well, let's just do something nice and easy, use up our paper because we're paying for it. So we want to make sure we use it. And then this one, I'm just going to lay it up a little bit higher and just kind of overlap just a little bit. I'm just eyeballing it. So, you know, you can do what you want. Okay. All right. So there's that. And again, this is great if you have scraps. Okay. All right, now here's our circle that we that I cut out using one of the circle dies from the Beautiful Shapes, and I am going to use our Calypso Coral, and my stamp is going to be one that says "Thankful We Are Friends." So we'll go ahead and ink that up. Ink that up. Look how nice that looks. Can you see that? It's brand new. Hadn't used that one yet. All right, I'm gonna have to stand up on this one to make sure I get it in the circle. All right, so let's see. Let's push it down just like that. Okay, and I always let, with it being the photopolymer, I usually let it sit a couple of seconds longer than normal just so I make sure the ink transfers. Look at that. It looks like I know what I'm doing. Isn't that funny? Okay, I know I'm a goof. All right, so let's get that one over here and cleaned off. Now this one, we're going to, am I going to add anything to this one? Let me think about this. Am I? No, I think this one we're just going to pop it up on here, and we're going to add some dimensional. I was thinking about putting some ribbon behind here. Actually, now that I think about it, we've got, let me go ahead and just do it this way. All right, we're going to pop this up on dimensionals. I was thinking about the twine that we have. We've got twine, new color twines, and I think there's an evergreen one in there, or there's a coral, I can't remember, and it would probably look nice on this card, but that's okay. We're just going to go with what my initial plan was. And I am going to place this probably right here in the center, and then we'll come in with some bling. So we're going to pull in some rhinestones. I realized I went in my drawer and looked last week. I have about 8 or 9 packs of pearls, and I was down to like about 4 rows of rhinestones. So I had to order some because I was out. All right, and then we're going to take our take your pick tool, and we'll just take, let's just do some medium size. I'm just going to place some on here, and I'll do some smalls. No rhyme or reason. And they always say you should do them in 3s. Is that correct? So let's do one. Let's just put one right there. And that kind of gives it a little bit of, spruce it up. Look at that, quick and easy. All right, and then of course we'd put our white piece on the inside and stamp sentiment or write whatever it is that we want to write. Now the next thing we want to do, since we already have this piece of paper cut, we're going to decorate the outside of our envelope. And I'm going to bring in my, oops, I'm almost out of my seal. Oh no. Might have to grab one real quick because I like to use the seal when I'm doing the envelopes because I want to make sure the paper stays. So I'm just going to put some adhesive on here, and I know y'all know how to do this. Now I cut these. This one I think is cut a little bit bigger. This is 2.5 with the 6 inches, so I think that's a good size, and I want this to stand out. So I'm going to lay this on here and give it enough. I'm going to butt it almost up to where the fold is. I'm trying to see the lines. I think that's good. I don't want to get too close because then it doesn't fold right. Okay, so now this is how we use our paper, and we won't have a lot left over. So we'll go ahead and then just trim using your paper snips right around the envelope, and use the envelope flap as your guide. And I always lean my scissors. I'm right-handed, so I lean my scissors towards the right so I don't cut the envelope itself, but it allows me to get as close to the envelope flap without cutting anything. You can see I've got a little bit off, but that's okay. All right, and then we'll toss that up there. And now we have a nice envelope that somebody's going to get in the mail. Isn't that pretty? See what a little bit of extra paper does when you decorate your envelopes. So very, very easy card. Doesn't take long to do. So if you've got a lot of cards to make, this is a way that you might want to consider doing that. And we're using both sides of our paper. All right, so that's card number 1. And we'll move that one over there. Now card number 2 is got a little bit of a different fold. And this one, I got to work on the folding part because it's off just a tad, but that's okay. And let me show you this card. Now this one we're using Daffodil Delight, and again, one of those pieces of paper. Now what I did is I marked this, but I didn't come over far enough on this side because this really needs to be covered up. When I did I scored, and I'll show you what we're going to do. I scored the cardstock and then folded it over and glued it down, and then cut a piece of white, which is what we're going to do. And then I took an extra piece of paper and put it on the inside. All right, and then this little stamp is from the art gallery. So I'm just using this one right here. I didn't think about putting any leaves behind it or not. So I've just used it. I'm not sure if that goes with that or not, but I didn't use it. So, but I did put a piece of rhinestone in there and kind of dressed it up. All right, so that's what we're going to do. So we'll set that off to the side. Now I'm using soft succulent for our base card. And let me pull in my paper trimmer so I can score this and get a nice score on it. Let me get it turned the right way. And again, this one's at 5.5 by 5.5 by 8.5. So I'm going to line this up at 4.25, and we'll go ahead and score that. All right, I'm going to move this out of the way. I know it does add extra to the envelope. It really makes it nice. Can you imagine the mail people when they see all these plain old envelopes and then all of a sudden they go, oh, there's a Stampin' Up! Letter, you know, or somebody that's a paper crafter letter. All right, so there's our base. Now, the next thing we're going to do is, hang on, let me get my pieces out of the way. We have our, here's the designer paper that we're going to use, and this has got the coral in it as well, but for some reason, I just like that. All right, this is our inside, so we're going to set that over there for a moment. Now, this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to determine, first of all, where I'm going to cut on this card. So, or where I'm going to score it. So, obviously, if you look at what I did here, I probably need to come down a little bit and score, so that will fold down, and then I'll tuck this under. Does that make sense? So I think I need to come down a little bit when I do my score. So I'm going to bring the scoring paper trimmer back in, and this is the front of my card. So I'm going to mark down. So I'm thinking I want to come down. Let's come down. Let's do it this way. I'm going to come down. No, let me do it with my ruler because I just better this way. I'm going to come down about 1. I think this one I came down 1.5 inches. So I think I'm going to come down, I think I'll do 1.5 inches. All right, so I'm going to line my ruler up here just for now. I'm going to make a little mark at the 1.5 mark. It doesn't have to be exact, but I'm going to just do it like that. Okay, so that's my little mark. So I know where to do my score. We're not going to cut it, we're going to score it. But I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to line this up in the track, but I think I'm going to put my scoring thing right about here, so that way I can fold that down. Does that make sense? We're going to try it and see if this works, okay? We're going to give it a shot. All right, so we're going to fold and line this up in the track. So we want our little dots to be right where the trimmer is. I mean, in the track of the trimmer, the little rubber thing. And I'm going to start here, and I'm going to, hang on a second, I'm going to make my little dot over just a little. There we go. All right, so I'm going to score this, and hopefully that will take care of my issue. I hope so. I think it will. And then we're going to take this, and we're going to fold this one over, and I think that, yep, that's good. That should meet it. There we go. I didn't do that good the first time. Okay, now we're going to take this, and I'm going to guesstimate. This is our 4 by 5.25, and this is 3 3/4 by 5. So I am going to come down, I'm just going to slice this And we're going to make it, we're going to have to cut it down a little more. I know I'm using my ruler when I should have my other, I should be using this ruler, but that's okay. It's just the way I do things. So I'm going to come down, and since I did this one at 1.5, I want to make sure I get this one in there. So I'm going to do this one a little bit long, I'm going to do it right a little bit more than, just slightly over the 1.5 mark, okay? So I'm going to cut this, so I'm going to line that up there, and then just bring this down into here and cut that off at an angle, okay? All right, so we're going to go up and cut, all right? Now, what I can do, now that I have that on there, I can mark, if I can get my paper up, where I want my designer paper, right? So I want to do the same thing. I'm going to line it up. So I've got it like that. So I know I need to cut it probably right about here, just to give us enough, and I may have to trim it. All right, so I'm going to line this up. Are y'all with me so far? Okay, so we're going to line this up. Here's my little mark. I might come down just a tad. All right, and then we're going to cut this at an angle, okay? Now we should have this lined up. Look at that. Perfect, right? All right, so let's take this and let's make sure that this is going to fit in here before I glue everything down. And if that goes right there, look at that. That's going to fold right over like that. See? All right, so let's go ahead and get this glued down, and then I'll show you how we're going to do the white strip as soon as I find my glue. All right, so we're going to go ahead and add our multi-purpose glue. So these are kind of different ways of cutting our card. Again, we're using our paper, and we'll attach that onto here. We're just going to leave a small border. Isn't that pretty paper? Don't you just love this? I mean, it's just, it kind of looks like, now this one to me looks like flowers, where the other one looks like rocks. This to me looks like, you know, an abstract type of flowers. I don't know. That's just what I think. All right, so now we're going to add this, and we're going to lay all these flat, so we're not doing any popping up or anything like that. All right, so let's get this laid down. So here's another, if you haven't seen this design, so now you got another new card that you can cut. All right, so we've got that on there, and now we will add our adhesive, because this is going to get glued down. So we're going to glue this down. So let me hold my fingers here and make sure I get it really good on the edges and get up in that corner. All right, so let's fold that down, and I'm just going to hold it for a minute because it is a little bit thicker. Not thicker, but it's on top of 2 pieces of cardstock. So I'm going to hold that for just a second. All right, and then the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take a piece of, and now you've got these 2 pieces here. You can do whatever you want with them. You could always add this to the inside of the card if you want to do something, you know, funky or whatever, okay? Now, with the, this piece here, I've got it at 1 1/4 by 4, I think it's 4 1/4. Yeah, almost 4 1/4. I'm going to cut this at an angle, and this is what we'll use. So I'm just going to cut it corner to corner, okay? So we're going to have the left corner, I'm doing it this way, left corner, and then the right corner at the bottom. And we're going to just slice it in half. And I've already got one already cut, but I just wanted to show you how to do this. And we've got to make sure we get our corners lined up. And I'm going to scooch it over just a tad. I think that's good. I think we're good. All right, and then we're just going to cut that. So now we have our 2 triangle pieces, right? So we have a triangle piece that we're going to flip over. Ta-da! And it fits, right? Or you flip it this way. There you go. All right. Now I've got one, actually, let me see, this one. And then if it's too long up here, what I normally do is I just trim it down here. Now this one happens to fit. It's not quite as wide as I want it to be. So you could cut your paper a little bit wide. Well, actually, it's the same, actually. So when I did it before, I made the piece a little bit too long, but it wasn't any big deal because I just trimmed this off. So this is what we're going to stamp on. All right, so let me move these 2 pieces out of the way. We'll save those for another card. And this one we're going to do, I think this one we're going to do Happy Birthday. And then I'm also going to, oh, you know what? I cut that paper and I was supposed to stamp my flower. I got to stamp my flower on that. I don't know what I was thinking. Let me grab a sheet of, hang on 1 second. Oh, I got some scraps right here. Hold on. Here we go. That's why I had that there. Oh, well. All right, I'm going to stamp, I'm going to use the Evening Evergreen for this flower, just like I did on the other one. I love this color. It just, I got my sleeves. I don't want to get them in the ink. So let's do our flower. I'm going to stamp it, and then I'm going to fussy cut it. Now, see, I like that, but I don't know if this little flower in here is supposed to go onto the inside of that. I don't know. But anyways, I guess I'll play with that later and figure that one out. What do y'all think? So, okay. All right, let me close this up for now until I get this cut. So I'm going to fussy cut this real quick. I know it's a little weird. It's a little different. That flower part probably does go in here in the center of this, but I'm just going to cut it like I did the last one. So we'll just go with it and see. It'll be okay. No one's going to know what it's supposed to look like anyway. So just cut that off. And I'm just going to cut through, you know, I didn't even know if those, that has a die set or not. I didn't even look to see. I don't think it does. So I'm just going to cut, I don't know if it does or not. But anyways, I'm just going to cut it around. It'll be fine. See, you just got to roll with it. All right. Now all of a sudden I'm having a, cut this off. I'm having a, getting a little warm in here. I brought my slippers because I thought it was going to be cold. And I had my slippers on, so my feet were heating up, so I'm overheating. Imagine that. I'm sure y'all can relate to that. Okay, so we've got that cut. So let's just go ahead and let me just trim this right here. I don't like the looks of that. Let me get that up. Just cut just a little bit up in there. Just trying to make it look a little prettier. All right, so let's, again, I'm just going to pop him up on a dimensional. Now we can go ahead and stamp, because I'm going to put him right here. So I'm going to stamp this first before I glue it down. So I'm going to use the Evening Evergreen again. I think it will be fine. And we're going to do birthday. I do birthdays because I send out a lot of birthday cards. So I want to make sure I have enough birthdays already. So if you're not on my birthday list, shoot me a message and give me your month and day of your birthday and address, and I'll send you a birthday card. All right, so I think we'll stamp that right about there. All right, and that's kind of just a real clean looking birthday, you know, nothing too over the top, and small enough that you can get it on something. All right, so there's our flag. So we're going to lay that on here. And just add some adhesive. Aren't these cute cards? Thank you guys for coming on a Wednesday. I appreciate it. And don't forget, next Wednesday, I'll send you another reminder too next week. And then Saturday, 11:30 is our creation anticipation, where you're going to come and you can craft with me. You can make a card with me, or you can just sit in your pajamas like some of the ladies did last time and just watch and have your coffee or tea or whatever. All right, so we've got that on there, and then we're going to pop this up. And this is, again, it's a very simple card. And I'm just going to, actually, I did on the other one, I added some yellow. I'm just going to leave this one like this. I should probably, I think I'll take my marker and add a little bit of coral around it like I did on this one. I added a little bit of the yellow, so it doesn't look so stark white, but that's okay. We're going to go with that. All right, so now we're going to put our white on the inside, and I've got an extra scrap, so I'm going to add that to the bottom of my card, because again, we want to use up the little pieces that we had. So we're going to add this to the card, to the inside. And I'm not going to stamp anything on the inside. I usually wait until I get ready to send the card out, and then I make it for, well, I know it's a birthday, but I'll just add what I put in for my birthdays. I write a bunch of stuff. Okay, so we're going to add him to the bottom of this piece right there. So now we've got that all purdied up. And then we'll add this to the inside of the card. get a little happy with the glue. All right, so we're gonna put that on the inside. Glad I didn't miss the live this week. Always enjoy your live. Thank you. It's party time, you know. We haven't seen each other in a week, so we got to get together. All right, so we're going to add that to the inside, and of course that's going to dress up the inside of that card. And all right, now let's do, I want to keep it somewhat simple. So again, we're going to pull in our rhinestones, and we'll just put a little bit of rhinestones on here. And you notice I'm using my pick your tool, take your pick tool. I'm remembering. So let's put, we'll put a little doodad there, and let's put one in the flower so he doesn't look like he's quite as naked. And then let's take a larger one. And let's just put one, let's put one over here on, right there on that little dot. Maybe we should put another one. What do you think? Let's do two down here. Let's dress it up. Let's put one right there. How's that? All right, so that's the second card. Isn't that cute, though? I just love the way that looks. And then you open it up, and you could always, you know, have the inside decorated, you know, if you wanted to have something up here so it doesn't look so plain Jane, but you're going to write your message in there. But again, it's just a different way that you can dress up your card. Isn't that pretty? Don't you love that paper? I just love all of these. And look, did you notice my nails match? Oh, and I chipped one. This is Amazon Amazoff is what it's called. It's by OPI. And I just realized it matches our Evening Evergreen. So I could be hand model for the for Stampin' Up. All right, so there's our second card. All right, now we didn't decorate his envelope, but we can do that because you've seen that one, right? Okay. All right, so those are the two cards for that design. And then the last one, let me move these out of the way. The last one we're going to do is a pocket card. And this is what this card looks like. This is in this pretty paper. And then this one, we're just going to pull out our little, this is really easy. Look at that. So, and then you put that little knobby on there so it knows, they know they're supposed to pull that out, okay? Now, just be careful with your ink because I went right around the edges, but it's a little tight, so I had to cut this paper down. Isn't that pretty? And that's using the new burlap ribbon that comes with the Real Red. And again, we're using the circle from the Framed Occasions with the coordinating die. Isn't that pretty though? Just something different. So let's go ahead and do this one. Now this one we're going to do blues. And I got my little notes here so I can tell you what size everything is. And my lime green. Okay, so we're going to do Night of Navy. And that's our base card. So 5 1/4, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Okay. And then our white, now this I'm going to probably trim down some depending on how tight it's going to get when we do our paper. And I'm going to go with this. Isn't this really pretty? I love this. This is Fresh Freesia, Balmy Blue, which is what I'm using. And I think that's Highland Heather, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think it is. And then this is Night of Navy. So I couldn't decide if I wanted that side, but I wasn't. This is Calypso Coral, but it looks kind of peachy to me, and anyways, I thought I'd go with this one. I thought this was pretty. And to me, these look like flowers again. And it all depends on how you want your, how do you want your paper on the thing. So I'm going to put it like this. So the bottom piece here is 4 1/8 square. So that's 4 1/8 by 4 1/8. I'll show the cards when we get to the end. It's pretty easy. I'll show them to you when we get done. All right, so this is 4 1/8 by 4 1/8, and this is Balmy Blue. And then this is going to be 4 by, I think it's 4 by 4 1/8, but that doesn't make sense. Hang on a second. Let me just measure. It should be 4 by 4. Yeah, 4. Yeah, this is 4 by 4. I don't know how to write. All right, so 4 1/8 by 4 1/8, 4 by 4. So again, these are pretty easy cards, but they're just so pretty. Since we're using to make a pocket card, we got to be real careful with our glue. Now, we don't want to put anything at the top, right? So we just want to come right along the edge, just a small line right along the edge. And try not to make it, this is a new bottle, so of course it's coming out a little thicker than I would want, but I'm trying not to squeeze it. And then, and of course you don't have to go all the way to the top if you don't want. And I'm just going to try to keep it as small as possible towards the bottom. so that we don't have our pocket get a little too tight. So you can put your note in there. And then we're going to line this up and place this down. It's going to have a very small border. Make sure we've got it in there straight. And then I always have to lift my cards up and look at everything. And then with the multi-purpose glue, it allows you to shift it. And that's the nice thing about that. It allows us to shift it just enough. Now I got glue on my fingers. Just enough. And this should be our pocket right here. Oops. And, oh, I forgot to cut my paper. Oh, my Lord. Hang on. I got to cut this paper down. What was I thinking? Okay, we're going to cut it down. Actually, yeah, that'll work because that's going to go on there. Okay, that'll work. We're going to cut this off. I forgot. I got to cut this down. I got so excited. All right, we're going to cut this down probably a third of the way. So I'm just going to, I'll eyeball it and then I'll tell you, what a goofball. I'm going to eyeball it and then I'll tell you where, I'm going to cut it down. Let me, hang on a second. Hold on. Hang on a minute. I don't know what I was thinking. Hold on. I'm confused. I've confused myself. No, we're good. This is not the pocket card. Hang on a minute. Dawn's having a moment. All right, ignore what I just told you the last 5 minutes. We're going to put glue all over this. This blue one is going to be our pocket. So this is the one. This one, we got to put glue all over this one. I don't know what I was thinking. So this one we can glue down. Oh my gosh. I got glue on. Hang on. Let me put my paper over. There we go. All right. I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, why is that not working? Okay, we're good. I'm telling you. Let me get my paper. Hang on a minute. Now we're having moments. Got to get it straight. I got all the glue on here now. All right, this goes on like you normally would do. Just ignore me. This goes on like your regular piece of designer paper with your card. Okay. Jeez Louise. All right, so this goes good. Let's flatten him out. Now is where we're going to put the glue on the 3 sides, okay? Somebody wasn't thinking. All right, there we go. That makes more sense. Now we're going to go on the back side. I don't know what I was thinking. All right, so now we're just going to go on the back side lightly with a small line of glue. So the designer paper, you can put as much glue on that one as you want. It's this one that we want to have a small stream of glue so that it holds in place and doesn't come apart. Okay, now we're doing it. Okay. See, you never know. Comedy hour, things happen. All right, so we're going to place this right here. And we're going to make sure we've got it somewhat centered there and lined up. And we're going to push this down. I got glue on my fingers, so I have to. And they're now sticky. Okay. Now I had another piece. Oh, this piece of paper. We're going to use this. Okay. All right. So now there is where our card's going to go, right inside of there, our piece of white. So let's make sure. Let's give this time to. Let's wait while that's doing that. I have a scrap here, and I'm going to use. It's a retired 1 1/4 inch circle punch, but I don't get rid of my punches because my circle punches. I just love them. And they're quick and easy. I like the dies. Don't get me wrong. I like the dies, but sometimes when you want to do something fast, you don't want to have to get up and keep die cutting everything, right? So I use my punches. I do not sell my punches when they retire. I keep them. All right, so that's our little button. So what we're going to do is we are going to fold this in half, and we're just going to make like a little pull thing. But they'll know that they need to pull on it. And then we'll put a little adhesive on here, kind of get around the edges there. All right, so we're just going to put that right in the center and let that dry for a second or two. My hands are all sticky. I think that's centered. There we go. Okay, let's see if this is going to fit in there or not. We want to make sure that's glued down. Perfect. There we go. That worked. And if it's a little too long, you can cut it. So my white, let me pull this back out. So the white is 3.5 by 5. So it's 3.5 by 5. I did cut it down a little bit to get it in. So that's going to go inside here. And you got to gently push it because you don't want to pull the sides. All right, so that's there. Now we're going to decorate the front of the card. And I had a piece, hang on. Where is my, oh, here, it's stuck in the center. I have the circle, and I stamped it with the stamp, which has the little dots around it, the stitching. And I'm hoping that this stamp set's going to fit in there. And this says, wishing you the best day ever. And I'm going to stamp this in the Fresh Freesia, and then we'll decorate the front of this card. So let's go ahead and get this stamped. All right. And I'm going to stand up on this one so I can make sure I get it, because it's going to be it's going to be a little tight, but I think it'll work. Okay, so we're going to push that down, let that sit for a minute. Oh, perfect. Isn't that pretty? You know, some of these, sometimes you use colors and then you don't use them for a while and then you forget how pretty they are. Do y'all do that? I do. All right, so there is wishing you the best day ever. So that could be for, you know, a wedding, anniversary, birthday, or whatever. All right, now we're going to take, this is one of the new ribbons, and this is Night of Navy. It's called, well, it's called Bordered Ribbon. It's really strange. It's got like, it's almost see-through, not see-through, but you can, it's got the navy dark on the outside, and the inside's a little bit lighter. So I think we're going to do this, and we're going to add this behind here so we can add that to our thing. So I'm going to go ahead and put some adhesive on here so that we can loop our ribbon, and we'll get that done. And we will, I'm just going to start with it. We'll just loop it, and then I'll come back and let me see, make sure I got it. Oops, I don't want to go crooked. Hang on, let me get it so I get it going the way the words are. That would probably be helpful. So we'll start it this way, over here. Ah, I tell you, that seal will get you. It's sticky, all right. And let's make sure we got that there. I put enough glue so that I can get them on there. Let's see if that, yeah, I think that'll look fine. And then I've got my ribbon scissors, so we'll just snip that right there. And then I'm going to cut this one. I should have pulled it a little bit more, but we'll just cut that one out. Whoops. Oh, now I got too short. All right, so let's pull that down just a little bit. I want to get a little bit more of the tail showing, so let's just pull him down just a tad. Hang on a minute. Now I've got everything all boogered up. I think that'll be fine. That'll work. And he's fraying, but that's okay. He may fray anyways, who knows. All right, we're gonna just cut him at an angle. Just a tad. Okay. All right, and then we're gonna pop this up on dimensionals. Gotta love our dimensionals, right? Can't live without them. Good thing that they're inexpensive, because I don't know about y'all, but I tend to use a lot of these little guys. All right, so I'm gonna put 3 on there. And we will put this right over. Let's see, where do we want to put this? I think, let me get, did I get the paper off that one? Yeah. I kind of like, and it's whatever your preference is, but since this is kind of an open area, I'm thinking I'm going to place it right about here. What do you think about that? There. Isn't that cute? So that's the other card. So then they just pull it out, and you have your message all written on there, and it fits in a regular size envelope. So isn't that pretty? All right, so there we go. Now, and don't forget, when you have your extra paper, you want to decorate your envelopes as well, right? I didn't do that on the other 2. So let's pull in the cards that we've made, and let me get those. All right, so for those that came in a few minutes late, this is the first card. This is one that I made. And then this is the one that we made this evening with our matching envelope. Okay, so that's that. And then this card is the one with the slight angle. We'll put that right there. And then this one is the one that I made prior to our pocket card. And then here's the one that we made just now. So there you go. Aren't those cute cards? So there it gives you some ideas of how to use up some of your designer paper. If you've got scraps. Actually, I did a bunch of cards with scraps. I don't have them. I should... well, they're not handy, but I'd show them to you. But anyways, I had so many scraps I was saving up on my desk, and I decided I was going to take the time and put those things together, and I did. So there you go, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed this. And these, again, if you're making some of these cards, make some and post them on our group page so that we can see what you're doing. I just love seeing what everybody else does because I get to learn too. All right, so thank you everyone for watching. And just remember, Saturday at 11:30 Eastern Standard Time is Creation Anticipation. I've got the post is on the VIP group and with the measurements of the card, however you want to do it. And I'll be making 2 cards just to show you 2 different ways. And then next Tuesday night will be Wednesday night. So next week we'll do our VIP, we'll do our Facebook Live on Wednesday at 7 o'clock. And then after that, we'll go back to our Tuesdays. All right, so thank you, everyone. I greatly appreciate you spending your Tuesday evening with me. If I can help you with anything, please let me know. And for those that are new here, I didn't introduce myself initially. My name's Dawn Duval, and I live in Fort Myers, Florida. All right, everyone, thank you so much, and I'll see you.